Hello and welcome. Jiggly Travel is back with another video from Liverpool, England. Famously, the hometown of the Beatles, Liverpool is more than just the Fab Four. Closely associated with the arts, music, culture and architecture, as well as industrial innovation, the city is renowned for its multitude of historic landmarks, world-class sport arenas and shopping and entertainment. The abundance of art galleries, national museums and listed attractions in Liverpool, the second highest number in the UK after London, is fit to delight culture lovers and history buffs. The strategical position of the city at the estuary of the Mersey, where the river meets the Irish Sea, determined its maritime past as key trade and migration port. We will be using GPS MyCity app to help us navigate the city. GPS MyCity offers 8 different self-guided walks in Liverpool, covering museums, famous places and the Beatles pub crawl. Today we will be following Liverpool Introduction Walk. For a full detailed walk, check the GPS MyCity app. Our first stop, Royal Albert Dock and the waterfront. Albert Dock, a historic complex of docks and warehouses on the banks of Mersey River, is Liverpool's biggest tourist draw, attracting over 4 million visitors each year. It was built in the 1840s and designed by local architects Jesse Hartley and Philip Hardwick. The new dock was groundbreaking in 2 ways. One of the first dock complexes to allow direct unloading of cargo into warehouses. It was also the first UK development not to use wood in its construction. The complex was crucial to Liverpool's rapid development as a global trade port, with ivory, sugar, silk and tobacco stored in its 5 vast warehouses. Located in the same docks, there is Merseyside Maritime Museum. The city of Liverpool and the surrounding county of Merseyside both have a proud maritime museum. The region's name comes from the River Mersey, a wide inlet from the Irish Sea which adjoins Liverpool. Access to the sea along the river allowed the city to become one of the world's great trading ports during the Industrial Revolution. The Merseyside Maritime Museum is a celebration of Liverpool's shipping history. It covers the history of the Titanic and the history of slavery. Just a short walk away, there's another museum worth a visit, Museum of Liverpool. The Museum of Liverpool is the newest addition to the National Museums of Liverpool group. Opened in 2011, replacing the former Museum of Liverpool's life. The intention is for the new venue to tell the story of Liverpool and its people and reflect the city's global significance. The museum is housed in a new purpose-built building on the Man Island site at the pier head. Exhibits from the entirety of National Museums Liverpool's collections are used for the Museum of Liverpool's displays. They tell the story of the city through items from collections of costume and decorative art, entomological and botanical collections, and objects representing social and urban history. Just outside the museum you can see the Beatles Statues. This larger-than-life statue of the Beatles, located right in front of the Liver building on the waterfront, is a great place for a photo stop for the Beatles fans. If looked at closely, each member of the band displays a small personal detail. Paul McCartney carries a camera on his back, which may be a subtle hint to his relationship with Linda Eastman. John Lennon has 2 acorns in his hand. Yoko Ono and John Lennon planted 2 acorns in the garden of Coventry Cathedral in 1968 as their wish for the world peace. Ringo Starr's boot has the number 8 on it, which may be the size of the shoes he wears. George Harrison has Sanskrit written on his belt. The Beatles Statues is the city's most popular selfie spot. Visible anywhere from the Docklands, there is the Royal Llyvr building. The Royal Llyvr building is located at the pier head and, along with the neighbouring Cunard building and Port of Liverpool building, is one of Liverpool's 3 graces, which line the city's famous and iconic waterfront. One of the first structures in the world to be built using reinforced concrete, the Royal Llyvr building stands at 98.2 meters tall to the top of the spires and 50.9 meters to the main roof. Opened in 1911, it was the largest building in Europe up until the mid-30s. It is now, however, only the joint 4th tallest structure in the city of Liverpool, having been overtaken in height by West Tower, Radio City Tower and Liverpool Cathedral. The Royal Liver building remains one of the most recognisable landmarks in the city of Liverpool and is home to two fabled liver birds that watch over the city and the sea. Legend has it that were these two birds to fly away, the city would cease to exist. Walking up the Water Street will take us to Town Hall. Liverpool Town Hall was built between 1749 and 1754, according to a design by John Wood the Elder. An extension to the north, designed by James Wyatt, was added in 1785. The town hall is built of stone with a slate roof and a lead dome. The building has 2 stories and a basement. The stonework of the basement and lower story is rusticated. The south face has 9 bays. Its central 3 bays are occupied by the portico. This has 3 rounded arches on the ground floor and 4 pairs of Corinthian columns surrounding a balcony. Above the upper floor windows on all faces are panels containing carvings. Just a few minutes walk away, there is the world-famous The Cavern Club, opened on 16th of January 1957 as a jazz club and later becoming a centre of Liverpool's rock and roll scene in the early 1960s. The Cavern Club became closely associated with the Beatles in the early years. The Beatles made their first appearance at the club after returning to Liverpool from Hamburg, Germany, where they had been playing at the Indra and the Kaiserkeller clubs. From 1961 to 1963, the Beatles made 292 appearances at the Cavern. By summer of 1963, Beatlemania was sprouting across England, and with girls demanding to see the Beatles and screaming just to get a glimpse of them, the group had to hide or sneak into the concerts, and the small club could no longer satisfy audience demand, so on 3rd August 1963, the Beatles made their final appearance at the Cavern. Heading up Victoria Street will take us to our next 3 stops. First, it's St. John's Gardens. It is an area of public parkland close to William Brown Street in Liverpool's city centre, one of 2 parks within Liverpool's World Heritage Site. They are bordered to the east by St. George's Hall, a fine neoclassical building which houses law courts and concert venue. The green flag awarded gardens house ornamental shrubs and flower beds, as well as a number of memorials to the city's famous citizens. These include statues of Liverpool University founder William Rathbone and the former British Prime Minister W.E. Gladstone. Wellington's Column is a towering memorial to the Duke of Wellington, located on William Brown Street in the historic heart of Liverpool city centre. Commissioned after the Duke's death in 1852, it is the work of 2 Scottish siblings, Andrew Lawson, who designed the Greek-style column, and his brother George, who created the statue of Wellington. It was one of the last column monuments to be erected in the UK. Largely because of the lengthy delays in its construction, Wellington Column was eventually completed in 1865. Built from stone sourced at local quarries in Runcorn and Darley Dale, the column is 81 feet high. Considered as one of the first neo-Grecian buildings in the world, St. George's Hall is a great example of Liverpool's neoclassical architecture. This Grade 1 listed building's Greek column facade is both impressive and imposing. The St. George's Hall hosts social events, including live music, and is open for visitors free of charge. You can also book a guided tour online and be greeted by the friendliest of guides welcoming you to spend a few hours inside. The main entrance is in the center of the east facade and is approached by a wide flight of steps. The front has central portico of 16 Corinthian columns, flanked on each side by a series of square pillars. Between these pillars are reliefs which were added between 1882 and 1901. Heading south will take us to the Bluecoat. Built in 1716 as a charity school, Bluecoat Chambers in School Lane is the oldest surviving building in central Liverpool. Following Liverpool's Bluecoat School's move to another site in 1906, the building was rented from 1907 onwards by the Sandon Studio Society. Based on the presence of this art society and the subsequent formation of the Bluecoat Society of Arts in 1927, the successor organisation laid claim to being the oldest arts centre in Great Britain, now called the Bluecoat. The centre offers a full programme of events and exhibitions including art, film and performances, and explains why Liverpool was Europe's capital of culture in 2008. Our last stop, Liverpool ONE. Liverpool ONE is a shopping, residential and leisure complex in Liverpool city centre. The shopping centre offers over 170 stores, bars and restaurants with additional leisure facilities such as a cinema, adventure, golf centre and a public open space. Liverpool ONE is the largest open-air shopping centre in the UK and the 6th largest overall. Each store was created by a different architect, whereby leading to quite stark differences between some buildings, and this is one way in which Liverpool ONE differentiates itself from other shopping centres. We hope you enjoyed this walking tour of Liverpool, and we are looking forward for you to join us on our next adventure in the near future. Take care, guys!